Right. So formula for determinants of a 3x3. Yay. Okay. If you look here, all we did was create smaller matrices, right? And we made 2x2s. And what do we do with the 2x2s? How did we find the determinants of the 2x2? And then we did what? Subtract, right? So once we get down to here, it just comes down to cross multiply and subtract. And that's pretty easy, right? So our goal is to turn this into that. Okay, how do we do that? You take the element in the first row, first column. That becomes your first factor. Okay. Now, if you were to cross out the row and column that makes up that element, that's how you create your minor. So do you see where these came from now? If I was to imagine them being blocked out. Yes, you see it? And then you do the next one. So then now I would do the same thing with B. So with B, I would, hold on, my pen's doing something weird. So then I would do the same thing with B. I would start here, that's my next factor. And I'm gonna cross out the row and column that makes B. And do you see where those elements came from for the minor? Yeah. Okay. And then for C, I'm going to do it again. So here's C. I'm going to cross out the row and column that makes C, and that's where these come from. Once you get to this, after the setup, all it is cross multiply and subtract, right? So the setup is the hardest part. The other thing you got to pay attention to is the signs alternate. Think about a battery, a remote. In order to get it going, the batteries have to be in the right way, right? And your batteries go different ways. So you have a positive, a negative, and a positive. Yes.
So if you're trying to B, B.
You see it?
So it's the middle.
It's what's left after if you. Mm-hmm. All right. Are we ready to put some numbers to it? Yeah. Okay. So here's our example.
Oh.
So we have 2, 1, 3, 4, -2, -1, -5, 2, 6. Extra piece of paper? Yeah. Yeah, use extra piece of paper. Yes. Are you ready to set it up? All right. So we're going to start with the first element, which is 2. If I was to cover up the row and column that makes 2, what would be my minor matrix? -2, -1, 2, and 6. Agreed? Yeah? Okay. Now we're going to do the next one. What happened? Girl. Okay. So now we're going to do our B. Notice how I reminded myself I got to change, alternate like I'm putting in a remote. So it's -1. And its minor matrix is going to be what? 4, -1, -5, and 6. Do you guys see why Juan said that was our minor matrix? Okay, cool. Now we're going to do our last one. Our last one is 3. It's +3. And its minor matrix would be, perfect, 4, -2, -5, and 2. That is the hardest part is the setup. That's the hardest part. How do we feel about setup? Okay, and now we just do the math. So we're going to find the determinant. And how do we find the determinant? What did we do yesterday? We cross multiply and subtract, right? So -2 times 6 is -12 minus 2 times -1, which is -2. And a negative times a negative is a positive. Agreed? So we cross multiply and subtract it. Now we're going to do the next one, minus 1. We're going to cross multiply. 4 times 6 is 24 minus -5 times -1, +5. Plus 3, cross multiply. 4 times 2 is minus -5 times -2, 10. How do we feel about finding the determinants? Still good? Yeah? And then the last step is just to PEMDAS your way out. So to simplify. So you just start doing your PEMDAS, which means we do parentheses first, then we multiply, then we add or subtract, right? PEMDAS? Agreed? Okay. Because it was minus -2, and we said a negative times a negative is a positive. All right, so PEMDAS tells me to do my parentheses first. So I have -12 and 2 makes -10. I have 24 minus 5 makes 19. I have 8 minus 10 makes -2. Are you good with parentheses? Now we're down to multiplication, right? So I have 2 times -10, which is -20. I have -1 times 19, which is -19. And I have 3 times -2, which is -6. And now we're down into adding, subtracting from left to right, correct? So -20 minus 19 is -39. -39 minus 6 equals -45. So my answer is -45. Not in pre-advanced.
Now I'm just wondering, like, could you?
I don't teach it. All right, so step 1 is to set it up. So setup is step 1. We found our minor matrices. Questions on step 1? Good? That was step 1. We found our minor matrices. Yeah. Step 2, what did we do? We found our determinants of our minor matrices, right? And then step 3, we PEMDAS. We simplified our way through. Is that doable? You are. You're so smart. You are. It's 3 steps. Doing it should make you feel very, very smart. Yeah. Good luck.
Is it gonna give me a wrong answer?
I don't know. Here we go. Here's yours. Remember, think about a battery. Plus, minus, plus. To get it started, think about the battery. You gotta put your batteries in. Exactly, because the negative times the negative is a positive. You got this. Here we go. So -1, right? And then its minors are -1, -2, -2, and 3. Agreed? Minus -1. And its minus is a negative and a negative makes it a positive. And its minors are 1, 0, -2, and 3. Agreed? Yes? Are we good? All right, plus 5. And its minor is 1, -1, 0, -2. Are we good on the setup? All right, now we're going to find the determinant. So we cross multiply -3 minus -2 times -2 is +4 plus 1. Cross multiply 1 times 3 is 3. 0 times -2 is 0. -2 times -2 is +4, but you're subtracting. the order of your subtraction?
'Cause I put
Yes.
0 minus 3.
It matters. You go from left to right, just like you read. Plus 5. And we have 1 times -2 is -2. 0 times -1 is 0. You got it? So we found our errors if we had them. So we had -1 times -7 plus 1 times 3 plus 5 times -2. So we did our parentheses. Now we're going to do our multiplication, right? So that's 7 plus 3 minus 10 equals what? 0. Yes? Ah, well, are we good? Everyone found the error? Yes. All right, that's it.
I need a blue stick. No.
Good.